Hello, hello. Hope this is working. Let me see. Hello. Okay, so we're on live. Hello, hello. On YouTube, we're up and running. On Facebook, let's see how we're getting on. Let's see. Facebook should also be up and running. It's hopefully going to be up soon. Welcome. Nice to see you, Alex. And Nene, nice to see you. Thank you for coming. How are you? Yeah, good to see you. Where are you, Alex? Yeah, me too. It's nice to see. It's nice to see people online. I really enjoy this. So this is one of my favorite things to do actually at the moment in quarantine. I really enjoy talking to people. Um, let's see. I'm trying to get live on Facebook, but unfortunately, it's not liking it very much for some reason. We'll see if we can make it work. Okay. Mm. No. Facebook doesn't seem to be wanting to let me go live. Oh, there we go. Is that working on Facebook? Is it live? Maybe it is. Okie dokie. See. Try this. MMA, it's good to see you. It'd be good to see you at the conference, yeah. Yeah, feel free, Alex, if you want to ask a question about the conference, feel free. I'm just trying to set up the Facebook stream as well to make sure it works. Unfortunately, at the moment, it seems to be unresponsive, but as long as we're on at least one place, at least I can repost. I'll give it a bit of time. Let's see. Yeah, feel free to ask a question, sure. Hello, hi everyone, wow. Buenas tardes, ¿qué tal? ¿Todo bien? Hola. Buenas noches. Uy, buenas noches. Sí, puede ser buenas noches también. Por aquí son las 5 para mí, ahora mismo. Hey, Gordana. Ahoy. Okay, let's see if we can get this working as well. Okay. So at the moment, Alex, this is really for the conference, but we'll see how we get on, and I might be able to take some other questions. So if you feel free to ask another question, and if I can get to it, I'd be very happy to talk to you at the end. I will also, I do language learning specific events on Thursdays. So if you want to come on Thursdays, that's 2 hours later than now, though, at 7 p.m. Central European time. I also do those events as well on my Speaking Fluently channel. And I'm obviously always happy to talk. For me, that's absolutely no problem whatsoever. Okay, on Facebook, I don't know whether this is working, but we will see. Oh, nice. Okay. don't know if this is working on Facebook, unfortunately. I'm going to have to give up with Facebook in a second. It seems to have changed something, so I can't do it. So I'll do Instagram instead. And there we go. So on Instagram and on YouTube, and I will try to get onto Facebook as well again in a bit. Hello everyone. So here I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube, and I hope that is enough for now. The Facebook, unfortunately, is not playing ball. The Facebook page, it's just showing me a blank screen, and I don't understand why. So I'll try and figure that out again for next time. Let me just see if I hold this. Hello, hello. Lindy Boats, hi. What's that? Wow, hello. Hi everyone joining on Instagram. It's good to see you. So I'm trying to get it onto Facebook. I don't think it's going to work. So I may just end up leaving it and just doing it on here. I think we should maybe get started because I have tried several times now. Okay. Yeah, this isn't doing it for me, unfortunately. Okay. Let me see. Nope. This is not liking it. Oh well. Hello everyone joining. Nice to see you all. Okay, so I'm going to start with the questions about the conference. So obviously with what's going on in the world, we still don't know where we are with what we should do about the Polyglot conference this year. Clearly, there is an issue with the coronavirus situation, the pandemic, and it's going to have an impact, and it surely is having an impact on what we can do as an event. It's already affected many international events all around the world, including things like the Olympics. And multilingual character, hello everyone joining, wow. So clearly there is going to be an impact on, and so I couldn't join. Okay, so I should be back in the room, hopefully. And yeah, so what's going on here is that as I say on Instagram, I'm trying to read all your names, but because they're so either long or they've got lots of things underneath them, I'm finding it quite hard to see them all as they flash by really quickly. So if I don't say your name in particular, then please do not take offense. Hello, everyone joining. So hello, everyone. Wow, so many questions as well on YouTube. So let me see if I'll get all of my. Okay, I'm getting some questions. Oh, I'm sorry you missed my thing, my language thing on a Thursday, Alex. And then because of that, I hope there's a stream live for you all now. Is it all working now? Hopefully it's working. No worries. Hopefully you're all there. Yep, Facebook isn't working, so I can't join on Facebook. But anyway, what I was saying is, Alex, I will try and get to your question about language learning, considering you can't normally join on a Thursday if I can at the end. So I'd like to just talk about the situation of the conference, the Polyglot conference, which obviously we were hoping to go to Cholula, Mexico this year, and to be joined by so many of you and to celebrate Mexico, how beautiful it is, the beautiful cultures, the beautiful languages of the country. I personally really love Mexico, and I know Anya, who's had some internet problems of her own lately, also just now actually as well, so it must not be just me going on sort of pause because of connection problems. I know that we're very thrilled to sort of take the conference to Mexico, and we definitely will. So what we see are the options are to either follow kind of what our sister event, the Polyglot Gathering, is doing this year, and that is to postpone by a year, and to have the physical conference in a year's time, and then to around the same time of year, of course, and then to have potentially an online version or something of an online version this year in place of the conference physically. That's option one. Option two is that we potentially look at postponing by a few months. As things go on, that looks to me to be a less likely option, than option one. So I think that a postponement would be either a postponement for a year or no postponement at all. Um, the other option is to go ahead with Cholula, to have the conference in Cholula. My guess right now is that that would be a reduced size conference anyway. So we would put a cap on the amount of people who can physically attend, and that we would make some preparations for people to be able to join virtually and do it that way, because it's just, unfortunately, just the way things are means that we can't consider every option like it was before. We've been in touch with our friends at Langfest. Obviously, this year we are doing the conference in conjunction with Langfest, and our friends at Langfest obviously are aware of the situation too. And our current situation is that we think it's best to wait until at least June to make a call on this, because making a call on what's going to happen in October seems a little bit too far in advance at the moment. And as we all see, the situation is changing on a daily basis. I turned the TV on just now and I saw protests about being restricted, and I'm seeing things about starting getting people traveling again. Here in the Balkans, Greece is going to open its borders, its international borders, in July. Other countries around the Balkans are going to be opening their borders as well. And so Austria, I know, is one of the ones that's going to, either they're open already or they're going to open very soon. So look, I mean, it could be that it works for October and we can have an event that's going to be in Mexico. So this is why I say I didn't want to make a call too early and say, you know, definitely yes, definitely no, and the rest of the team agrees. So as I say, I think I got paused there for a second, but the rest of the team agrees, and the Langfest team also is in agreement that for this year, it's just a bit too early to say anything. I think we will. I think what we'll do is we'll. Hello, everyone joining. Hello, yes. Have you got any? Okay, I'm getting some very strange questions as well in the chat on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit strange to ask questions like that, but anyway, but anyway, if you want to see the strange questions that some people ask me, then hop onto any of the articles I ever appear in, and I get asked the most bizarre things. If you're but anyway, what I wanted to say really was that for me, the important thing now is that we I know what the problem is with Facebook. Saying my browser doesn't support. My browser should support. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if it'll work. I just tried to click one more thing, but it's okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna carry on with more important questions about my hair. Although Sock, you did make me laugh. A ridiculous question. I'm so sorry. It's so stupid. Sorry, it's a really silly question, Sock, to ask people why they don't have hair. People don't have hair for many reasons. If you need me to explain why people don't have hair, possibly the Polyglot conference channel is not for you. Okay. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna compose myself now. But what? So the idea will be that we would we would move forward. Probably either we'll have a version of the conference. Konnichiwa. Nice to see you all coming. Wow, teacher Susanna, zdravo, kakosi. So yeah, we're gonna carry on. Привет, hello, ni hao, ni hao. Nice to see you all joining. Wow, come over. It is very difficult not to laugh, Alex. I find it so funny. Some of these comments I get online are actually quite funny. People say the strangest things to me, and, and it makes me laugh a lot. Uh, but anyway, yeah, so the conference, the Polyglot conference, that's what we're here to talk about. And what I wanted to say was that we are going to either do it this year with a kind of a reduced number of people in Mexico, if we can get, clearly there's going to be an impact. Whatever happens with people being able to travel, not being able to travel, all that kind of stuff, there is going to be an impact on anybody who potentially wants to come or is coming, and that's going to be, there are financial implications with what's going on in the world at the moment. There are concerns about travel. There are lots and lots of reasons why many people would not be able to come, or would feel nervous about coming or traveling, and so we're very conscious of all of those things. And I mean, I guess a lot of people will already have those feelings, right? So I'm not saying anything too strange, and so maybe in North America, maybe the participation might be really just mainly based in North America, and there might be some people who come from other parts of the world. And so, look, if we do have something in Mexico, then it will be whatever we can manage to make work, and we will do our best to make it a fun program of events, whether it's in Mexico in person, whether it's next year in Mexico, and this year we have an online version. Whatever we do, we'll do something fun. Some cool things that I can say are that we have a number of people who have submitted proposals. Thank you very, very much to everyone who submitted a proposal to speak at the Polyglot conference. When it gets to June, we're going to come back to you and talk to you about what the options are, because at the moment, clearly, the first question will be, is it still valid, depending on what we decide? And the second question will be how we end up presenting that, okay? So it's not a given, just because you applied before the first deadline. We understand it's not necessarily a given that you might be able to make it now. Ciao a tutti, tutto bene? Good to see you all joining. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how things go, and then we'll be in touch with anyone who's applied to speak. We'll figure out a way to make sure that you can speak in whichever format that is, and we've updated the call for papers online. So now the call for papers actually does include the new deadline, which is going to be the 7th of June, for proposals to speak at the conference. And the reason we've done that is because it just makes sense for it to be the for that time, to make it for. It's a Sunday, the 7th of June, and on that Sunday is when we'll have our event to talk about what our plans are. So we've got another one of these to talk to you and to get more input from you as well, and to hear about your concerns, and so just to update you. There could be another major update before then. My guess is that actually on the 7th of June is when we will make a final decision on things, and so yeah, we will definitely do that, and that seemed like the most logical date as well to have you come in and hear what our thoughts are after that. So I'm getting some questions here about do you think USA government that you use love languages? A USA government job. Oh, good. A job that uses languages, Alex. Well, you know what? In the US, I guess the State Department's probably a good place to be if you like or study languages. I imagine that kind of thing. But otherwise, any translation, interpreting work, anything to do with business that's international. I myself work in online social media management. So it's I work for a social media management agency and called the Social Element, and I work as a languages director. So my daytime job is actually giving advice on how to use languages and different cultures when you're talking about projects on social media. covering many geographical regions and how that would work with the teams and what kind of things we would do. So that's my daytime job, which is quite different to the regular thing, I guess. Hope that answers your question. Um, and then so the conference will be in the US someday. So Alex, we actually went to the US in 2015. We were in New York. The US is a big place. It's extremely diverse and extremely beautiful. And I really, really hope that we get to go back to the US at some point because um, many countries we've not been back to the same country yet. Um, and the reason is there are so many countries out there, right? But the US is such a big area and such a diverse set of states that I think you could probably well argue that it's worth going to a different state to explore a different state's culture and historical gems. There are many, many different. Sock, yeah, I've got a feeling I think you should leave, Sock. You're an idiot, obviously. Oh, and Sock, but thank you so much for coming and trying to talk. Um, I know it must be difficult when you've probably, yeah, got nothing to do. um, so let me just see. Here we go. There we go. We'll just get rid of you now, Sock, because you're fairly frustrating now. There we go. That's you reported, Sock. So there we go. There he is. He's gone. So now we can carry on without Sock being a bit silly. It doesn't matter. To be honest with you, you're very, very kind for for sticking up for me. Yeah, unfortunately, people do tend to get carried away when they've got nothing better to do in quarantine than to just think that they're funny online. And I have heard a lot worse. So I'm quite thick-skinned. But thank you all very much. You're all very, very kind, being nice to me. So now our friend has left us, we can carry on with the important business of talking about polyglot conferences and language learning. Thank you for reporting him too, Geraldine. That's very kind. Yeah, hopefully he will be gone and we won't get to see nice little Sock again. Maybe you should pull his socks up and get a better thing to do in life. Anyway, so so yes, we would potentially go back to a place like the US because it's just so it's such a great place to go to, and there are so many wonderful people in the US, and I think any big country, to be honest with you, like that, where there's a lot of diversity and a lot of beauty to sort of explore and a lot of linguistic diversity, I think we would definitely always go back. So there are some countries I think about when I think about potential options for the Polyglot Conference, and sometimes the diversity is so difficult to decide on one singular place in a country. So a place that I have in mind, like one place like Indonesia, for example, that springs to mind. Which eye do you pick? How do you decide where to go in a place like Indonesia? It's so big and it's got so many languages and it's so diverse and the people are wonderful. I love Indonesian and the languages and the people and everything. So hopefully, hopefully we will get to go to a number of places. Brazil. Exactly, Brazil is another one. That's a really good option as well. Um, yeah, I would love to go there, and yes, it would be fantastic to go. Um, I'm getting questions here from Anya. Unfortunately, I can't read them because I have my phone for Instagram and I have my computer for YouTube and what was supposed to be Facebook, but Facebook not working. So Anya, if you can read this, feel free to WhatsApp the question. I can read it quickly as it flashes by on my phone. So Anya had some questions. If you've got any desperate questions that you'd like to ask, please do feel free to write them with people who would be interested in working with us for the conference to make it the best as possible. Okay, and I will, and I can say hand on heart that Cholula is a wonderful, wonderful place to spend time with people, especially for us as language enthusiasts. It's just beautiful. It's really clean and sweet. The people are very, very friendly, very nice. The food is absolutely amazing. The city is totally walkable. And there are so many nice things to look at. And also, I just saw somebody. I was born in Puebla. It's very beautiful. Puebla as well. Puebla is like the fourth biggest city in Mexico, and Puebla is actually really nice as well. So if you do come to the conference in Cholula and you want to stay somewhere like a bigger city, Puebla's a great option. It's close by. It's like 15 minutes or so from the center of Puebla to Cholula, and it's by you can go by Uber or and it's really easy to do. I went there a couple of times. Anya was kind enough to take me to Puebla, and really enjoyed it. It's beautiful. I think the second question Anya had answered, which was about an online event. So we are still talking about how we would potentially make an online event work. I would love to see an online event work if we can't get together this year in Cholula, and even if we can at a reduced number of people, I'd like to see some sort of online event anyway. I think just to kind of make it more inclusive. I think one of the things that's happened with this whole quarantine and the lockdown and this, I think, is that we would definitely want to see more online interaction. And will I come back to Puebla? Of course. If so, if Arturo, if I go back to Cholula, I'll definitely be back in Puebla again. Um, I would actually spend a lot of time in Mexico. I really like the place. I think it's a beautiful country. Um, how would you like? How would you use your Spanish tutor most effectively? The amount of progress each week, Alex, to learn Spanish, and obviously this is a very good question to ask if we're going to Mexico. Is So I find that doing at least 2 contact hours a week is a minimum for me to learn Spanish. I can recommend Anya's school, Zola Languages. So Anya and I work really hard with a great team that I managed to visit when I was there, and they're supporting the Polyglot conference this year. And honestly, they have some really cool stuff to be able to go through and learn Spanish online as well. They have online teaching and stuff. So if you wanted to do that, Alex, I can recommend Zaloa Languages. They're really great, and really relevant to the conference too, because you'll get to meet them. You get to go and see where the school is in person if you go to the conference, and also you'd be learning the local type of Spanish, right, for the conference, which is always a plus. Okay, let me see if I've got any more questions here that I can answer. Hello from Senegal. Hello, Polyglot Ava. Nice to see you. Online would be great. I agree. Thank you very much, Natalia. I'm glad you appreciate that too. I don't understand when I get requests to say to be in your live video. Is that people wanting to be actually physically in the video? I've never seen that before. People, you may speak to me. Of course, you may speak to me. Nana, you can talk. Let me see. So I've got a question here in qual é o teu idioma favorito? Eu acho para mim a minha língua favorita é alemão, porque é uma língua que eu estudei na Alemanha com uma família alemã. E então estou falando sempre com as meninas da família. Então, para mim, sim, tem um sentimento mais profundo com a língua. Então, para mim, também é uma língua muito bonita e também com um vocabulário também que me ajudou muito para compreender melhor a minha língua. Okay, let me see. So let me see, what else have I got here as a question. When you join after the live stream, it's an option that pops up, request asked to join the live video. Oh, okay. If you want to speak Bahasa Indonesia with me. Okay. Mau bicara dalam bahasa Indonesia juga. Ya, bahasa Indonesia. Saya suka bicara dalam bahasa Indonesia, tapi sekarang ada ada bahasa Indonesia setiap minggu, setiap minggu bicara dalam bahasa Indonesia dengan orang Indonesia online. but if you want to talk to me as well, maybe we can talk together. That'd be lovely. Thank you very much. Um, so, some lovely questions. Você fala bem português? Obrigado. Obrigado. Привет, как дела? Хорошо? Все нормально? Хорошо. Nana, I don't know if I can do a request now. I'm in the middle of a live chat about the Polyglot conference. Maybe on another occasion, Nana. It'd be very nice to talk to you, though. Thank you. Um, so let me see. There are a number of other questions coming through. So I'm going to try and find out if I can see them. Hello to everyone who's joined, by the way. Yeah, Polyglot Bears. Hello, hello. Natalia Gerza, hello. The one would be great. Fantastic. Can you create a Richard Simcott merch line? What posters, t-shirts, coffee mugs? Alex, that's really funny. Thank you. I don't know. Would you? What would you want? What would you want on them? That's quite a funny thing. I love it. I love it though. That's it's nice that you think there's a market out there for little old me. Do you think people would really want to wear anything that I create? I love the idea. It's funny, but yeah, if you think, how am I raising my daughter? Wow, I'll come back to that in a minute. Uh, uh, Wat van Jan van Nederland? Ja, voor mij Nederland is ja, een prachtig land. Ja, ik heb 2 jaar lang in Nederland gewoond. Dus ja, voor mij is het gewoon normaal hoor. Maar ik vind, ja, ik heb in Rotterdam gewoond. Ja, en ik heb in Capelle aan den IJssel gewerkt. En ja, dat was mooi. Ja, nu is het wel lang geleden. Ja, al hoe lang geleden nu? Ja, 15, 16 jaar geleden. Ja, dus ja, wel een tijdje. Ja, en waar ben jij? Ben je in Nederland? Um, yeah, so I really like Netherlands. Will the conference happen this year? So I'm going to go back to the discussion about the conference, just to sort of recap what we said at the beginning, so that people joining now can sort of be in the same awareness that we're all in, and that is that I see two real options about the conference. So basically, there's delaying it by a year, having it next year, the same similar time, and the other option is, I mean, it's still a sort of a less likely option is to delay it by a few months, but I think the most likely option is either by a year or to have it this year with a cap on the number of people who can attend, just because we won't expect of people to attend after what's happened this year, because of financial reasons and because of concerns about travel or restrictions on travel from certain areas of the world. Ja, bedankt hoor. Dat is mooi. Ja, het is mooi om Nederlands te praten. Ja, eu quero aprender o russo. Digo que para aprender bem o russo, eu acho que sim, tem que fazer uma coisa. Tens realmente que estudar cada dia. E sem estudar cada dia não é fácil, porque é uma questão realmente de praticar as mesmas frases, as mesmas estruturas da língua, porque é uma língua muito diferente. Então, não é com uma língua como o espanhol, como o francês, como o italiano, que é uma língua mais como o português. Então, e essas estruturas, os casos, por exemplo, na língua russa, são um pouco mais complicadas para aprender. Então, você tem que fazer um esforço mais grande para poder realmente internalizar todas as estruturas que sejam estruturas naturais para você. E isso é a coisa mais importante com uma língua como a língua russa. ¿Cómo llevas el español? Pues bien, Antonio, es que el español yo estudiaba en España, así que tenía que estudiar como hispanoparlante, no como extranjero, así que lo domino bastante bien y lo hablo con mi hija también, así que está bien. El español mucho mejor que el portugués, pero bueno, es normal, no tengo la carrera de español y también he estudiado como hispanoparlante, como si fuera mi lengua, ¿no? En España, así que lo hablo bien, creo. Sí, sí, si ustedes creen que no, pues a ver. He dicho ustedes, es la primera vez hablando, pensando en México, ustedes, porque suelo decir vosotros. Yeah, hello from Peru. Hello, hello. Um, nossa, 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 assim você me mata. I love it. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado. Eu gosto muito de português. Sim, é uma língua muito, muito linda. Uh, so anything important, just simply speaking. Um, yes, accidentally forgotten. This broadcast, I've spoken about the Polyglot conference and what our plans are. It's to check in really with you about any questions you may have, and also to tell you where we are with our thoughts about the Polyglot conference. So yeah, that's the importance of it. And people are asking me questions about languages in between, and I think it's nice to have a bit of a chat as well. So yeah, I hope that that's answered your question. And I hope that you heard what the update was. Um, it's very nice to see you here anyway, accidentally forgotten. Um, thank you very much for the comments about my Portuguese. It's very nice to see that. Parles valencià? Parlo català, vaig aprendre català a la Universitat Carolina de Praga. Doncs sí, amb el català, jo no parlo, però sí, per a entendre el català, no? Sense problemes. Doncs, sí, però el meu català és català, català de Catalunya. Doncs no parlo valencià, sí, com la llengua diferent. Euh, tu chantes très bien, merci, c'est gentil, Big Bang. Et toi, j'ai vu que toi aussi tu aimes chanter, hein? C'est cool. Por conferencia. Ah, por conferencia en España. ¿Por qué no? En Valencia, sí, ¿por qué no? ¿Por qué no? ¿Quién sabe, eh? Es que también a mí me gustaría ir a todos los países del mundo. La verdad es que para mí sí que, vale la pena visitar muchos países, celebrar mucha cultura y también mucha lengua diferente. Así que para mí sí, ¿por qué no? The other thing that we do with that I've been working on as well lately is also um, looking at um, the language event, which is a smaller event that we have that goes out every time it's needed, really. So last year we had a small language event in Melbourne, and and in Melbourne we had a nice event, and last year, and we had one this year before the coronavirus really took hold in Edinburgh, and we've got all of the videos from that event as well in Edinburgh are being linked on the playlist for the language event on YouTube on the same Polyglot Conference YouTube channel. So please feel free to check them out, because it's basically a smaller version of the Polyglot Conference. And what we do is we aim to again celebrate languages and cultures around the world, and to get together and to enjoy each other's company, which is also a lot of fun. I enjoy it very, very much. So I hope that we can do that. Um, Thank you. It's a very kind offer to help me improve my Portuguese. It's always a thing to kind of practice the language is a lot of fun. So yeah, absolutely, very, very happy. Uh, okay, so let me see, what else have we got? What do I think of studying Japanese and Chinese together? Oh wow, you're getting very much into language learning territory, which is definitely more my Thursday thing. But I think that I would find it personally confusing doing Japanese and Chinese together. So I did some Chinese and then I did some Japanese, and I found that I was reading the kanji instead of like the Japanese way. I was reading it very much like in the Chinese way, and it was difficult for me to read them out loud. So I think it's possibly a good idea to get good at one of them and then move on to the others. But I'm not the best person to ask about Asian language learning, because there are many people who speak Asian languages way better than I do, and I've studied them a lot more in depth. So Lindy Boats also has a great channel. She would be able to answer that better than me. Stu J. Raj would be able to answer that way better than I can. Probably Steve from Link, Steve Kaufman, would be able to answer it better than I can. Michael Campbell from Glossika, again. We also had Maria, who did a talk in Fukuoka about learning those different languages, and that is just gone live. Actually, it went live on Thursday, so check out that video about learning those languages on the Polyglot conference. And we've got it on the playlist for Fukuoka, so have a look at that. And then there'll be another one coming out from Emmanuel Ternon, and he is also a lot more of an expert than I am on the case of these languages. There are going to be a number of other people I haven't mentioned. I've mentioned the first people that came into my head because I have most contact with them. But there are other people as well who would definitely be able to give some really solid advice on this because they've been through not just that, but also a number of other languages. Yeah, Vladimir Skolpati, somebody's mentioned here pour le chinois. En ce qui concerne le japonais, c'est ça que j'ai pas pensé à lui au début parce que lui, en fait, il a fait le chinois, mais il a pas trop fait le japonais à mon avis, mais je sais pas. Peut-être que j'ai tort, je ne sais pas. Euh, would ever think about going to India? Oh, Chanel, absolutely. Why not? Chanel, it's so nice to see you on here. Thank you for coming. So Chanel really is really cool. She inspires a lot of people with language learning. So I'm. It's great to see you, and you do a lot of great things for the language learning community. So thank you, Chanel. And yes, absolutely, India. I mean, you can't talk about polyglotism, polyglot, without thinking about a place like India. India, it's so beautifully and linguistically diverse. Um, I would absolutely love the chance of celebrating many parts of India. Yeah, I have a real feeling for places like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. I think just because it's a big part of sort of as someone who comes from the United Kingdom, I feel quite a strong connection to those countries, and I think I grew up with people who had moved, or their parents had moved from those countries, and their kids were my friends at school, and so for me, I've always kind of really I actually okay, I shouldn't really say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. And Alex Rawlings, if you ever saw this, would kill me. But I always used to feel that I wished I could go to the Saturday schools. I wished I could be learning Bengali as well. So I always used to feel a little bit sad that I wasn't Bengali. It might sound crazy, or I didn't have a Bengali parent, and I really wished I had that extra thing as well. It sounds really strange, but I suppose that's that curiosity of language, right? You wish you could do certain things. Um, Okay, so Cynthia, you missed the beginning, and the call for papers is actually open. Yeah, Cynthia, please do propose a talk on interpretation. The call for papers has been extended until the 7th of June, which is yeah, roughly a month from now. So we're going to have one more live event in 2 weeks' time. Then the second live event after this will be the one on the 7th of June. That will be the closing date for applications for calls for papers, and that will be the date that we will make a decision as well on what we're doing about the conference. So we're gonna let the sort of we've got the Polyglot gathering to go through at the end of this month, and I think after that we will be able to make a decision as well where we are. Hopefully, we'll have a better understanding of what's going on around the world with flights, with borders. By then, so hopefully we will have something for you then. But please do, because if you apply to speak, then it means that we can get in touch with you either for the live event or anything we do online as well. So please do. Um, yeah, Hindi's more practical. I'm seeing here. Yeah, I'd love to learn Hindi, of course. But my best friend at school when I was young, when I was really young, was his parents spoke Bengali, so that's kind of why Bengali was a thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously, every language is. For me, it's kind of someone says, "Which language would you like to learn?" It's like every single language in the world, if I could. Um, okay, so if I could try and learn the Polyglot conference in VR chat. I don't know VR chat. What's VR chat? Like a virtual room chat? Possibly. So we were looking at all those kinds of options about the different types of things. So hopefully we will. What language was the funniest to learn? So I would say that the funniest language to learn. Funniest is a funny word. I don't know. For me, learning because I learned German with children, so I guess that was funny because I make mistakes and they'd laugh at me a lot, so I would laugh a lot too, and I like to laugh. So, from that aspect, I think German probably. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And the cover paper is still open. Yes, it is. I think maybe I got that twice. Okay. Anya, and let's see. Is it possible to make a Polyglot conference in Mexico? Um, Alan, in fact, it's the Polyglot conference Cholula we're talking about, so that's Mexico, definitely, and we want that to happen. So it's either this year or if we delay it to next year because of what's happening right now. But it's going to be in Mexico this year, and we are very excited about that because Mexico is beautiful, and the people are absolutely wonderful, and there are so many beautiful, gorgeous languages to celebrate there, as well as really rich culture. So our cultures, should I say, not even culture, cultures. Mexico is fantastic. Um, so yes, Mexico, absolutely. Um, so you're going to ask you a question about, let me see, Africa, where Swahili, Zulu. Okay. Yeah, do you know what, Chanel? So I would love to take the conference to Africa as well. I'd love to do any kind of event in Africa, actually, whether it's a language event or whether it's a conference, or both at some point in different parts of Africa. Africa's enormous. Um, it's There are challenges with certain countries. The challenges that, as for an organizer organizing an event, is that obviously I organize this event. It's not my day job. My day job is different. I do this as a hobby, so I do this kind of, yeah, for because I love languages and I love promoting language learning and the diversity that we have in the world. I just enjoy doing that, and I think it's, if it can inspire somebody to do something good, then I'm very, very happy. Um, so I would be extremely happy to take it to Africa. I'd be extremely happy to do something like that. Um, the challenges, though, for me are always finding somewhere we can do it, um, how people can get the in and out, getting all that kind of stuff, and also finding people who, nice to see you again too. No worries about being late. Sure, you can catch it again if you missed anything. Um, so you can definitely, you can have an idea of where you want it, right? And that sometimes can be, yeah, a dream almost, of like, I want to do it here, here, or here. Then when you start getting into the costs involved, the price of the tickets you can realistically sell them at to meet the costs. These are the issues that I have organizing the conference every year. So it's definitely one thing. Like, for example, I looked at, one year I really looked at Morocco, in fact, as a place to go, and and the quotes I got were extremely expensive. I mean, really, really expensive for the conference place, and to meet those costs would have been so. It would have cost me so much money to do that. I would have been in a lot of debt to just pay for the conference, and so obviously I can't do that. Um, and if I were to have charged the ticket prices to meet the needs of the conference costs, it would have been so expensive. Many Moroccan locals might not have been able to come, and that for me is very sad. I would not want to have a conference in a country where I can't at least give some sort of help to locals if the average wage is a lot lower than, say, in Western Europe, North America. I think that would be grossly unfair and also kind of against the point of the conference, because you want to mix with local people and get to know their languages and cultures. And these people are very, very much able to do that themselves as well. And I see the Polyglot conference as a way of taking a platform to a place for them to do it and to reach a new audience. That's all I try and do with the conference, really. So yes, I would love to go to an African country. Absolutely, I would love to go to a number of them. My favorite African country that I've been to is Botswana. I love Botswana. Um, I I mean, I loved all of the African countries I visited, but there aren't that many, about five. Let's not go crazy. Um, but I really loved Botswana. I fell in love with Botswana because I thought that the people were just absolutely wonderful, and so just naturally also these people. I mean, Zimbabwe actually was really super multilingual. but yeah, and that was amazing help. But all of them were wonderful. But yeah, Botswana really is one of my favorite countries in the world because of the experience I had there. Um, so yes, in a very long answer to that question, yes, I'd like to go to Africa. Sorry, Chanel, I think you struck a chord with me there with that question. Okay, your question is there any? Alexander Arguelles wanted. Okay, so the institute that Professor Alexander Arguelles, I think probably he's better to answer that question. I wouldn't like to answer on his behalf. Um, but yes, Alex, he's. I saw him in fact in January, February, at the end of sort of in winter. I went to Minnesota and I spent a week with him. And he works on the conference too. He works with me on putting together ideas for calls for papers and things like that. So he, yeah, he's doing well. He's working at Concordia language villages, in Minnesota, and so they do quite a lot of things like that. They teach a lot of language though, but I don't know where he is in terms of the other idea. I think probably, but best to ask him. At least I can relay the question and see if he'll make a video or something to try and talk about that a little bit more. Um, it's nice to see you all coming in. Thank you so much. The great job of varying location. Thank you very much, Language Bears. Um, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Language Bears. That's very kind. Um, I have suffered from kind of thinking that maybe sometimes I'm Europe focused, or have been in the past. I'm trying to make sure it's as diverse as possible. Clearly, there are some limitations just for me logistically living in Europe to get and to help organize things. This year, with the help of Anya and the Zaloa languages team, honestly, Mexico wouldn't be possible. Anya is just, I mean, if you don't know Anya, she is incredible. She's not just a great person, wonderful to talk to, wonderful to spend time with, a great polyglot herself. She's also super organized, and she does a great job. Honestly, she's really brilliant. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to collaborate with her this year, and I look for collaborations like that every year. So last year was Tim Keeley, and Tim Keeley in Japan. Tim's a lovely person, great big heart, and also wonderfully linguistically gifted with his languages. He's explored so many, and he's a wealth of knowledge. And he was, I mean, without him again in Japan, it wouldn't have been possible. So I'm very grateful to people who can give real solid help with putting something together as well locally. I need that local help to do it. So it's not just me. I need to give thanks to the people. And for many years, Alex Rawlings worked with me on the Polyglot conference, and also fantastic source of help and support. And I can't, now that I've said this, I have to mention everyone. So obviously the conference in New York with Ellen Jovin, I will forever be in Ellen's debt in terms of what she did for the Polyglot conference. She really took the conference to a new level, and I think that's that US way of thinking about things, that US sort of service, that US sort of polished, finished version. So she helped to really focus the conference on my mind, particularly on really important things for the conference. So that's now from that stage on, really, I invest very heavily in good film production to make sure that the level quality of the videos that come out of the conference is really high. So I hope that that you all enjoy, particularly the recent years, the quality, the investment of money into that. People do wonder why they have to pay for tickets sometimes, and it's simple. It costs a lot of money to put on a conference, and if I don't have anybody paying anything for a ticket to come, it would be me paying for everyone to come to a conference, and I would probably not be able to do even one conference, and then I would be living on the street. So I don't pay myself a wage out of the conference. I do it because of the love of languages, and I do need to charge something so that I can meet the costs as a bare minimum. But yes, so many, and Emanuele Marini as well in Serbia with Serbian Cultural Centre. They did a great job in helping put together the conference in Novi Sad, and then for Budapest. So that was the first one I did, and it came out of a lot of talks with Luca Lampriello, and yeah, and my good friend from Italy, who's also wonderful polyglot and a very nice person. So yeah, I'm grateful to so many people for this. So I appreciate your very kind feedback and nice words. I also need to make sure that I don't forget people who helped, and also acknowledge the hard work that they've put in over the years too, because I won't ever forget that. So, and all of the volunteers we've had over the years helping out on the day, or just so amazing, honestly, just so amazing. So yeah, I've always been overwhelmed by just how much love and support there is in the language learning community, and for me that means everything. Okay, so do non-polyglots attend the gathering, or is it fluent? So Jim, I can't speak for the gathering, okay, but what I will say is this. The Polyglot Conference, we have this tagline. I don't know if you've noticed it, and it says, "For everyone who loves language." And it doesn't say everyone who loves languages, it says for everyone who loves language, because I believe that the Polyglot Conference is for everyone who has an interest and a passion and a desire to learn more about language or languages. So that's all you need. Well, you need that, and there's one other really important thing that you need to have as well when you come to the conference, and that's a smile. Because we want you to make new friends, and that's the really special thing about getting together in person. So come to the conference with a love for language and a smile. For the gathering, all I can say from my experience as someone who doesn't organise that event is that the feelings are the same. I love going to all of the events, these events. So I go to the Polyglot Gathering. I've been to the Langfest as well when it was in Montreal, and I get the same feeling. People are just genuinely just really, really nice, and I find that actually, Jim, it's interesting. When people ask me that question, and it's kind of, I guess it comes from a place of you see people online talking about they're learning this number of languages, and it feels a bit intimidating. If I can be honest with you, one of the persons that I've learned most from on my language journey actually was a monolingual English speaker. He taught me so much about language, and I could have listened to him all day, every day for years, and still not have absorbed even half of the information the man had in his head. So that's kind of also one of the drives that made me say this love for language and not languages, because even though he didn't speak another foreign language, it was just amazing what he did with English. And English is a very rich language, of course. Thank you, Olana. Thank you. Okay, so what do I think are the best ways of learning Russian? Okay, so Russian using our Latin language group knowledge. How can we make the connection between them? Learning any other language that's completely different. Actually, I think that honestly, it's a case of going through and repeating things constantly until the structures make sense. Sometimes these words look a bit alien, and so it takes time to get into them and to really get them in your head and internalize them. And I think that's the key, really, for any new language family that you take on. Actual fluency. Hello, Chris. The Great Dane has arrived. Good to see you. So Chris has just joined. He's putting on the Polyglot Cruise next year, which again was struck by COVID, unfortunately, this year, like the gathering. Chris is a great guy, lovely, lovely person. We've known each other for many years, and they're going to go on a cruise around the Med. Isn't that right, Chris? And I'm sure he's happy to hear from anyone who's interested in joining a 7-day cruise with lots of other language lovers as well. And absolutely wonderful if you're interested in more from him. He's also got some courses, I think, haven't you, Chris, as well, on language learning. I just saw some things popping up, so feel free. Actual Fluency he does this podcast as well, and interviews lots of people with lots of really cool really cool stories about the language learning. So sometimes I think that listening to those actually will help with your own language learning because you can take the advice. So yeah, Chris, we've talked about the conference, and the conference is it's either two things that are going to happen. One, a reduced size conference this year, or two, we'll postpone it by a year and have kind of an online version, in whichever case either as well. So that's kind of where we are, and we'll make a decision on the 7th of June, which is when in a month's time we'll have our June get together to have catch up on what's going on. Alex, I wish you could experience a conference someday too. I think you'd really enjoy it. Given the amount of questions you ask, it's clear that you've got an inquisitive mind, and I think that people would really enjoy meeting you and talking to you about languages. So I hope you can make it. And so, Antonio, have you ever used Link? And what do I think about it? Yes, Antonio, I've used Link. I use it pretty much every day lately, and I think it's a wonderful application. In fact, I use it with my daughter. Somebody asked about languages with my daughter. That's what we're doing at the moment. She's nearly 13, and we do Link every day together. So she's doing, obviously, she listens to French podcasts, Spanish and German as well. And yesterday she got excited by Dutch. We'll see how she gets on with that, whether she wants to carry on or not. I am not forcing her to do any of this. I'm a great believer in not recreating another me. I think the world has got one of me, and that's probably enough. But she's enjoying going through Link, and I'm enjoying doing it for other languages as well. So I kind of go through and play with the languages and read the stories, listen to the podcasts, and I really, really enjoy it. Um, yeah, it's been really, really helpful. Yeah, 13 years, time flies so fast. Tell me about it, hey? I almost can't believe it sometimes that she's got to 13 nearly. It's crazy. But yeah, we carry on at home the same way. So English, French, Macedonian, Spanish, German, the 5 languages we speak at home. And yesterday she was playing with she listened to Danish, and then she listened to Dutch, and then at the end, I didn't expect her to say anything about it. Thought she was just listening to them, and she said, "Do you know? I think I want to carry on with Dutch." And I was like, "Okay, if you want." I mean, for me, there's definitely no pressure from that at all. But yes, and just to reiterate again, if you do want to talk at the conference, please do fill in the call for papers. It's been extended till 7th of June. We would love to hear from you, and we will let you know how we're going to move forward with it, what format it will take, and how you can be a part of the conference. And hopefully, in 2 weeks' time, we will get Facebook working again. I think there's some issue with the browser. There's an update or something, and I didn't see it until then. I know it's very rude, isn't it, Chris, to pick Dutch over Danish, but um, okay, and I've just been told now that I'm out of time on Instagram, so I'm going to end the session here. It was lovely to speak to you all, and thank you so much for coming. And if you've got any questions about the conference, you can reach out to me, and I will do my best to answer your questions. All the very best. Speak soon. Bye bye.